Okay, looks like a problem that we can't immediately use Desmos for. So we actually have to draw a diagram. They told us that we got triangle JKL, but can't put J where I just put it because they said J is a right angle. So J goes over here, then K, then L. And they told us that the cosine of K is equal to 24 over 51. Well, what does Sohcahtoa say? She says that if you have a cosine, you got yourself a k. And what does the k tell you? Well, it tells you that the cosine of whatever your angle is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So what we could do is let our adjacent be 24 and our hypotenuse be 51. Now, what is a hypotenuse? A hypotenuse is a side that is across from the right angle. So that means our hypotenuse will go right here. And in this case, I'm going to let it be 51. But what about an adjacent? Well, what does that mean? It means adjacent to whatever angle you have. So in this case, we're talking about angle K. And what side is adjacent to that? Well, adjacent means next to. So should I just go with this one? Well, no, because when we say adjacent, we mean the side that's adjacent, but not the hypotenuse. So it's actually this other one that is also next to it. So a little weird, we got two sides that are next to angle K, but the one that we call the adjacent is just the one that's not the hypotenuse. Okay, so anyway, the adjacent in this case, we're going to let that be 24. And now what are they asking for? Well, they're asking for cosine of L. Okay, well, that means it's still going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is not going to change. The hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse, no matter what angle you have here. But the adjacent is not always the same. In this case, when we say adjacent, we mean adjacent to L. And where I see L, the side that's adjacent to that would be here. So this would be my new adjacent. So let's get rid of that one being the adjacent. That side's still 24, but it's not the adjacent anymore. Now, when we say adjacent, we mean adjacent to L. So I'd need to figure out what this one is. Okay, well, let me just call that one X for now. And then I could do a little Pythagorean theorem. And that'll help me figure out what X is. Now, if I want to get the answer for X pretty quick, I can just go to Desmos and type that in. And before the digital SAT, you could not get away with something this slick. But you can actually just type in the equation. And then wherever this thing lands, that's your answer. So that means X has to be 45. Now that you know X is 45, that's the adjacent, and that's what needs to go over the 51. So the answer here is 45 over 51. All right. Hope that was helpful. Take care.